استحقاقات عملية السلام، وأن تعود إلى صوت الحق والسماح للشعب الفلسطيني بممارسة حقوقه المشروعة بإقامة دولته المستقلة على ترابه الوطني وعاصمتها القدس. القدس عاصمة السلام، أرض الأنبياء التي أرسوا مراسيهم فيها، سواء كانوا سيدنا المسيح أو سيدنا محمد. السيدات والسادة، اسمحوا لي أيضا أن أتطرق إلى عدة مواضيع أخرى، من ضمنها ما وصلت إليه فلسطين في الموضوع القانوني. رغم طبيعة الظروف التي تحياها فلسطين، صعوبة الموارد واستمرار الاحتلال، اجتماع معركة التحرير ومعركة البناء، إلا أنها استطاعت أن تعمل الكثير. ابتداء أكدت فلسطين قولا وعملا على سيادة القانون وعلى التزامها بمبادئ الشرعية الدولية ومبادئ حقوق الإنسان وتعزيز الشفافية ومكافحة الفساد والالتزام بمبادئ الكرامة الإنسانية أمام القضاء واستقلال القضاء بمفهومه الكامل. واستطاعت فلسطين في الآونة الأخيرة أن تقوم بتجربة التقييم الذاتي في مجال مكافحة الفساد، خاصة بعد أن تأسست هذه الهيئة وتم وضع قانون خاص لها له كافة الاستقلالية وله كافة الشمولية ليشمل كافة العاملين في السلطة الوطنية الفلسطينية بدون استثناء. اسمحوا لي أيضا سادتي أن أعرج على مسألتين أخرتين. المسألة الأولى وهي المتعلقة بعقد المؤتمر القادم. كانت فلسطين قد تقدمت بطلب من أجل عقد هذه الدورة القادمة في فلسطين، ولا زلنا نتمنى ونأمل ذلك، ولكن يؤسفنا القول بأن عناصر القبول أو الرفض ليست متوفرة بيد الفلسطيني، وإنما هي بيد الجانب الإسرائيلي الذي يحظر دخول أي طرف إلى فلسطين إلا من خلال موافقته أو رفضه، مما يشكل خشية حقيقية بتحكمه بإفشال هذا المؤتمر. لذلك فإننا نعتبر أن طلبنا لا زال قائما، ولكنه عندما تتوفر الظروف المناسبة التي نأمل أن تكون قريبا من خلال تحرير فلسطين وإقامة دولتنا المستقلة على كامل ترابنا الوطني وعاصمتها القدس. والمسألة الأخرى هي موضوع الرسوم المترتبة على فلسطين، ونحن ندرك هنا ماهية الظروف المالية والمصاعب المالية التي تواجهها أليكو، ولكننا نأمل منكم الاستجابة للطلب الذي تقدمت به فلسطين بإعفائها من دفع الرسوم نتيجة لخصوصية الوضع المالي المتدهور جدا في فلسطين والذي يعتمد على المساعدات الخارجية، آملين بأن نتمكن قريبا من الوفاء بكافة التزاماتنا. السيدات والسادة، لقد لعبت أليكو دورا مهما في ترسيخ المفاهيم القانونية الناجزة للشعوب والعمل على الحد من انتهاكاتها، والانتهاكات لا زالت قائمة في فلسطين. بكم نحقق أهدافنا ونأمل بالكثير من العمل من أجل تحقيق أهدافنا الوطنية، وشكرا لكم.
Thank you, sir, for your statement. I give the floor now to delegation of Japan, and my apologies for inadvertently reversing the order. Japan was number 3 in the list, but I called on Palestine. But you have the floor, sir.
Thank you, Madam Chairman, Madam President. His Excellency Professor Dr. Rahmat Mohammed, Secretary General of ALCO, honorable ministers and attorney generals, distinguished colleagues. First, I'd like to express my appreciation to the Government of India for hosting this year's annual session, and to extend my sincere congratulations to Her Excellency Dr. Nehru Chada, and also to Ms. Helma Urha of South Africa, who are elected President and Vice President for this session. I must also thank the Secretary General, Professor Rahmat Mohammed, and his staff for their dedicated work to prepare for this annual session. Madam President, before I go into the text of my general statement, allow me to express our most sincere gratitude to the remark made by the Honorable Attorney General of Malaysia, Tan Sri Abdul Ghani Pattaya, on the untimely passing and contribution of the late Ambassador Chusei Yamada, which was received with deep appreciation. I'm going to make some reference on this in my intervention when the ILC agenda comes up. Madam President, ALCO has provided an important forum for dialogue among its member states for more than half a century to uphold and promote the rule of law in the two great regions of Asia and Africa. The rule of law is a wisdom that mankind has acquired to maintain peace and stability in human societies, domestic and international. In this regard, Japan welcomes the resolution adopted by the UN General Assembly in September last year at the first ever high-level meeting on the rule of law, in which the member states agreed that the rule of law was the foundation of friendly and equitable relations between states and the basis on which just and fair society was built. Japan supports the spirit and principle behind the resolution. Respect for the rule of law and its establishment and promotion in the international community lies at the heart of the Japanese government's policy. That is why Japan is committed to always resolving disputes through peaceful means in accordance with international law, and that is also why we have been extending support to enable other nations to build their domestic legal systems. Madam President, allow me to take this opportunity to share a few highlights in Japan's activities in the past year, since the last annual session in the area of promoting and strengthening the international rule of law. First, in the area of international lawmaking, Japan has been and will continue to play an active role in the development of multilateral treaties. One of the highlights in this area is the signing of the Arms Trade Treaty in June this year. Japan was one of the co-authors of the UN General Assembly resolutions on this treaty and played an active and constructive role in the negotiations. The very fact that the treaty opened to signature in June 2013 was an extremely important milestone. It is vital that the treaty comes into force as soon as possible and effectively implemented. It is only then the international community will have an effective tool to address the unregulated and illicit conventional arms trade that causes unspeakable human suffering throughout the world and undermines peace, security, stability, and human rights. Japan will continue to take a leading role in promoting international efforts in this area. I also wish to add that in October this year, Japan is going to take further initiative in lawmaking to host the diplomatic conference for the adoption and signing of the Minamata Convention regarding international management of mercury to prevent damage to health and environmental destruction based on its own experience of mercury pollution in Kumamoto, Japan. Another area to highlight is Japan's effort to accede to the existing treaties to which it is not yet a party. In May and June this year, the two houses of the Japanese legislative body endorsed unanimously to accede to the Hague Convention on the Civil Aspects of International Child Abduction and approved domestic legislation which stipulates implementation procedures for the convention. This was not an easy process. It was only possible after serious discussions concerning consistency with the existing Japanese domestic legal framework. As the world becomes increasingly interdependent, there is, of course, a rapid growth in the number of cases of Japanese men and women engaged in international marriages. It is quite important, therefore, that Japan becomes a party to the Hague Convention, which establishes international rules to address the issue of international child abduction. The Japanese government intends to complete necessary domestic procedures in order to implement the convention. I would also like to take this opportunity to share Japan's experience in peaceful settlement of disputes through international judicial process. This year became an important year for Japan as it completed the oral proceedings of the first ICJ case in Japan's history concerning the legality of Japan's special permit whaling in the Antarctic. As Japan's agent stated in his concluding remarks, the oral procedure spread over 3 weeks gave Japan the opportunity to thoroughly present our case about Japanese research whaling to the court and, by extension, to the entire world. In essence, Japan demonstrated, based on law and facts, that its special permit whaling was in full accordance with the International Convention for the Regulation of Whaling. It is now for the court to decide, but we trust that Japan presented its arguments clearly. Recourse by states to international adjudication for the peaceful settlement of disputes is an important feature of the rule of law. Japan is committed to settling disputes through peaceful means, and in fact, Japan accepted the compulsory jurisdiction of the ICJ soon after it adhered to the court statute, and has consistently maintained its acceptance. Allow me to take this opportunity to call on all states that have not yet done so to accept the compulsory jurisdiction of the ICJ. Madam President, there is no doubt that ARCO has served as an important forum for strengthening and promoting the rule of law in Asia and Africa, the two growth centers of the world. As maintenance of and respect for the rule of law are essential for ensuring sustainable development and prosperity of the states and regions. ARCO can and should continue to play an important role for the future of Asia and Africa. To achieve that goal, however, it is imperative that the organization should be placed on a sound and sustainable financial basis. To that end, I have great respect for the efforts made by the Secretary General and his staff to raise the awareness among the member states of the importance of fulfilling their financial obligations, which culminated in the adoption of the Putrajaya Declaration in 2009. The declaration aims at the recovery of arrears through flexible consultation and arrangements with the member states that have long-standing arrears, as well as streamlining expenditure as much as possible. This year, the Secretariat has made a proposal to increase ARCO's budget by 14.19% from the last year's budget, which would require increased contribution from the member states. As I understand, from the Secretariat's point of view, this is proposed as the measure of last resort. Indeed, the Secretariat has been making its utmost efforts in recovering arrears, and it has perhaps cut its expenditure in all areas possible. I wonder, however, that when so many member states are not fulfilling their financial obligations and the current